It's time for Washington's Shellfish Quest! This month's target species, Pacific oyster.
One oyster met another oyster, and they were oysters too. Two oysters met a quart of milk, and they were oyster stew.
Some people love oysters and some people hate them. But for many Western Washingtonians, oysters are a way of life.
It's Oysterfest 2013, home of the West Coast Oyster Shucking Championships.
Shuckers, take your mark. Go, go, go. Yell, yell, yell. These guys are professionals.
Oysterfest in October is great. Look forward to it year-round, but I personally like to harvest most of my oysters in the winter months, especially if I'm going to eat them raw. So I'm out here with my good buddy Jewel, his wife Katie, their son Soren, and my fiance Vanessa and son Russell.
Hello, Fish Quest.
Yeah, and this is Eagle Creek on Hood Canal, tavern across the street there. And so it's pretty easy to find, and like a lot of places in Hood Canal, it's just loaded. Holy smokes! Look at that! That's wild.
Is it alive?
No.
Jewel and I were just admiring a limpet on the rocks, and he found this
Check out
this
those
lamprey.
jaws. Or I should say lack of jaw.
Yeah, very primitive fish. Doesn't have a real jaw. Don't know if my camera can do it justice.
Is it alive?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, he's passed. This lamprey has, but otherwise, Jewel would have a problem there in his hands.
Oh,
Literally. Yeah, there he is. Wow.
You would check it out.
Send me up to Hood's Pole. I need some salt water in my veins.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they just pry open their shells and they extrude their stomachs into the shell and eat.
Those are really huge orange starfish.
I don't know, you can see the stomach that's inside this shell. I don't know if you can, it's like some
I
really
can't really get in
gooey
there, but yeah, you
mass.
can see it's gooey.
Here, I want to see.
Oh, that's wild.
Hey, I've already done the starfish and moon snail quest today. On to oyster quest.
Yes, send me up to Hood's Pole. I need some salt water in my veins. Gotta get you off of my mind, and I need some of that northwest rain.
All right, down the hatch is shucking oyster. You just simply pop it open. And down the hatch.
Delicious. Actually, that's super good. It gives us a really good flavor on these ones.
It was good.
Like always, we were sure to check the Department of Health's website to make sure that this area was open before we came out.
All sorts of people that are good at it, shuck them in other ways, but I simply take the oyster knife, long handle I have, but also a short handle works really well so you don't cut yourself open. Make sure to use a glove because you will end up stabbing yourself. You just want to protect yourself from that. And enter at the hinge, get in there a little bit, and then boom, pop that hinge open, and then you've got to cut the adductor muscle. Cut it. That wasn't too great of a shucking. It works. And then you got to scrape it off the adductor muscle. It's two-sided. So that's why it's nice to have a sharp oyster knife, which this is not. Then you can put it in your bag.
Yeah, that's right. In Washington State, you have to leave all oyster shells on the beach. The limit is 18. They've got to be at least 2.5 inches long. So basically, people usually come down with either like a sandwich bag like that, or just a little plastic container, and fill it up with 18 shucked oysters. Pacific oysters actually aren't native to Washington State or the Puget Sound. They came over from Japan in the late 1800s. They're native to the Pacific Ocean side of Asia. They've been aquacultured all over the world now because they're so hardy and so large. It's not oystering if you don't cut yourself really badly at least once. Yeah. The other common way to shuck an oyster is I just call it the 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock method, where typically there's a weak spot, you know, somewhere along here. If you know, if it was like a clock and this was 12 o'clock, you know, somewhere around 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock, there's usually a break where you can get your knife in there. So yes, wiggle it in there. Do. I have to slide it around a bit. And turn it up like that. Then, yep, just like with the hinge method, you have to cut the abductor muscle, but there you go. Good looking oyster. Well, it didn't take us long to both get our limits of 18 apiece.
See you next time on Washington Shellfish Quest.
Yeah, send me up on a boat. I'll forget about you from stern about. Gonna do a little fishing. I sure hope I remember how.